talk a little something, and lead us in a little chant. Let's hear it first, Kristen.
Hello, my name is Kristen Wade. I'm in third grade and I'm 8 years old.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dylan Connor, and I'm a senior at Ballard College Prep. I'm standing here today at the Capitol instead of at my school studying because for as long as I can remember, I've been more worried about whether I'll be shot in my own school than if I got a good grade on a recent test. In 2012, I heard the devastating news about the Sandy Hook Elementary School, and I remember thinking, am I next? That question is not something that anyone should have to worry about, let alone an 8-year-old child. Today, I stand here not just for myself, but for all those students, teachers, and administrators who enter our schools every day with a gnawing sense of unease. I stand here because I refuse to accept a reality where I must remain constantly vigilant, scanning for potential danger, and strategizing by response in the event of a shooter. Almost 5 years ago today, during the National School Walkout, my sister stood outside the Capitol 100 yards away and doing the exact same thing I'm doing here today, speaking about the inaction from our representatives. She said, we've watched mass shooting after mass shooting caused by an antiquated mindset, and we have yet to see change. And the horrifying part about that is that it is still true today. 5 years ago, my sister cited a statistic from the Washington Post at the time that over 187,000 students were exposed to gun violence since Columbine in 1999. Knowing that since that day in 2018, that figure has almost doubled to 348,000 is beyond alarming. And those numbers do not even begin to account for the millions more who have had to endure the harrowing experience of a lockdown. I stand here today for those who cannot stand for themselves, for the victims of the Covenant school shooting, the hundreds of lives that are cut short by school shootings, and the tens of thousands of American lives lost to guns every year. I'm standing here today because the state and federal government has repeatedly prioritized the value of our guns over the safety of our children and our families. I'm standing here today with hundreds of fellow students and terrified families to mourn those we've lost to gun violence and call upon our representatives to make change. Together, we stand at the state capitol building telling our state and federal representatives that they can no longer hide behind or be bystanders as we watch child after child dying at the hands of guns. We are here to tell them that they can no longer hide behind the NRA's pocketbook and the gun laws that they've created that allow these shooters to gain guns. In closing, I hope that in now, we can look back on this day as one of the turning points in the fight against violence. I hope that we will have enacted meaningful legislation to protect our children and communities from senseless violence. I hope that we will no longer have to stand up and grieve for the victims of mass shootings and gun violence every single day. So let us leave here today, not just upset and devastated at the lives lost at Covenant, but with a renewed sense of purpose and a commitment to do everything in our power to fight for our lives and create a safer future for all. Thank you.
That we'll get some legislation. But I say we demand. Legislation. Whose house? Our house. Whose house? Our house. I didn't hear you. Whose house? Our house. That's right. They hear us. They want to think they don't, but they do. They heard you this morning, and they'll keep hearing you if you keep coming. Next up, we have Kelly Bowers from Awake with her baby. So let's give her a big cheer.
Looking at this crowd and knowing how many people are in the Capitol, I don't think I've ever been as proud to be a Nashvilleian. I think all. My name's Kelly. I'm the executive director of Awake, but most importantly, especially today, I'm a new mom. This is my son Camden. He's 5 months old, and this is his first demonstration, the first of many. I'm here because of him, because the gun violence epidemic has hit too close to home and has taken too many lives, and it is long past time for our state lawmakers to respond in meaningful ways, and specifically that means stronger gun laws. It has been a devastating week for this city and for the families that lost precious humans in the tragedy on Monday. The families of Evelyn, Mike, Catherine, Cynthia, Hallie, and William. The shooting of Covenant School was the 129th mass shooting in the U.S. this year. It is March. That is unacceptable. Legislators in Tennessee are weakening the state's policies, eliminating the carry permitting requirement, allowing nearly anyone in the state to carry loaded firearms in public, concealed or open. There are a lot of issues out here that are nuanced and complex. This is not one of them. This is simple. States that have stronger gun laws see lower gun rates, period. I know that I can't protect my son from all of the threats of being alive in the world today. It's a really hard thing to come to grips with as a parent. There are dangers that I can't control. But by God, I will find the courage to do everything in my power to change the things that I can. And that means voting. Who here can vote? Raise your hand. Yeah, vote. Not just for the president, but in every state and local election. Amen. I will show up down the street at Cordell Hall so that when our legislators are passing laws that would further endanger my baby and your babies, that they will have to see our face when they do so. That means financially supporting local organizations that are on the ground in this fight. Moms Demand Action is amazing. They're here. They're always here. That means having hard conversations with your friends and your family and your neighbors about the public health crisis that is gun violence. We all do the work to show up here today. I'm grateful. This is huge. This is symbolic. This is meaningful. But don't stop here. I urge you, do not stop here. Amen.
Thank you so
applause. What's the next?
Yes, but Mariam Abou-Fazly, y'all, she might be my sister, but she organized this thing today. So all y'all, let's give it up for Mariam Abou-Fazly!
Hi. All I keep saying is hi. I'm sorry. I just want you to know what happened inside, because y'all were holding space for the power that happened inside, that is still happening inside. But we looked every single one of those lawmakers in the face. There are so many young people in there. In fact, they just took over and led the whole thing. And they looked every single one of those lawmakers in the face as they walked in. And I'm telling you, they tried to look down, they tried to look up, they tried to look wherever they could so they couldn't see those kids. And I just want to say that we have heard them say things like, we can't do anything about this. Why would you run for office if you can't do anything? Why would you be a government leader if you don't want to govern? I don't know about y'all, but I think we've all seen that graph. Do you know what graph I'm talking about? Okay, the one that says from 1994 to 2004, we saw an immense drop in shootings. Why? Why? Yes. So that tells me something. They are not looking at the data. They don't want to know. They don't want to know. So that tells me something else. Yeah.
Money.
And they don't care about my child, wherever he is. I care about my child. They don't care about our kids. One of them said he homeschools his kids for this reason. What in the world?
He doesn't. His wife does.
One thing I want to say about that, okay? What you see here, what I see here, your gorgeous, beautiful, stunning faces, the beautiful, stunning faces of those people inside, those kids, those high schoolers, that was a baby, is that comes from community, and community starts in school.
Yep.
I went to high school down the street. I learned about community down the street. My teachers, yes, my teachers, my friends, they are still my best friends to this day. I'm 100,000 years old. I'm here. Doctors, everybody that's speaking out after this horrific legislative session, it's because we care. And they are under a spell. They are under a spell. So this is my request of you. While these kids are chanting, they went up in the galleries. I tried to stop them, but they did it. Oh well. They are leaders. Those kids are leaders. They have courage that there's not one ounce, not even in the toe of some of those guys that walk past us. They can't even look you in the eye and say, yes, this is my choice to have you harmed. So this is my request. I don't know what y'all been talking about here. Sorry if it's redundant. This is my request. One, I know it feels like there's no point, but that is not how we're going to thrive and live in the city. I'm not leaving. Y'all aren't leaving. raising my 5-year-old here, and we are staying, we are changing this now. So here it is. One, you get to meet with these guys. Yes, you. It's not that scary. I did it all session. I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't even know how to do this. Look, it's not scary. Just go there, email them, you go and say, hi, this is what I think about. This is my experience as a Tennessean. It's different from yours. I don't rely on metal to make me feel safe. I rely on people. That said the safest neighborhoods are those that have neighbors that are in touch with each other. Not neighborhoods with gates and guns. It's a study. You know why? You know why? Because look how powerful this is. Look how powerful this is. We care about each other. We have each other's backs. So number one, please email them and say, hi, I'm Susie. I want to meet with Mr. Lambert. And go talk to him from your heart. Okay? I'm not saying he's going to change his mind. I'm not saying anything. But he gets to hear from you. Those halls are empty. Okay? They're empty. I'm there and they're empty. Okay? They're full of people that love their guns and other things that are really scary. Okay? That's one. Can I get a yes, we will? Yes, we will! Okay, thank you. So we will not be alone next year when we do this. Number two, I know everybody keeps talking about this. I know you didn't want to vote because why does it matter? They redistricted the hell out of us. Who cares? I know. But that's what we got. So 30% of eligible voters voted. I know you hear that all the time. Please, promise me, 3 people. 3 people. I'm going to assume that all y'all voted. Yes. You wanted democracy, Heaven, you voted. Now, pick 3 of your friends, don't be mean to them, that just didn't vote. I'm talking about registered voters, okay? Just registered. Pick 3, and can you promise to me today that you will ensure that each one of you will have 3 people vote the next election cycle? That would be big. And that's all I'm asking. Those 2 things. Okay? We're gonna need to flip who's in there. We're gonna have to change it. They don't want to do this. But in the meanwhile, they're gonna have to see us over and over again. Okay? That's it. Now I love you. Things are happening in there. They know we are here and we're not gonna give up. I'll see you again soon.
We have several survivors of gun violence right here on stage with us. I just want to recognize that this has been going on for a long, long time, and there are many survivors. And so I just want to say thank you, and my heart and soul for you. Remember that when you are going to keep showing up each day after today, for all of them and for all of us, there are no words. And so, words for you. I can't finish that. Okay, we're gonna, now I'm totally distracted. Hold on a second. We have, oh goodness. Tell me what democracy looks like real quick.
This is what democracy looks like. 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 This is what democracy
remember this, but if you are a child, you know what it feels like to hear the alarms in your school and have the notification that you are going to have a lockdown drill. You know what it feels like when you hear those alarms and then your teacher gets the notification and zooms to the door and locks the door and makes sure and tells everyone to stay away from the door and the windows, right? You know what it feels like to hide under a desk or hide behind a desk because you are trying to protect yourself from an attempted shooter from an assault gun that could be prevented if we had a government that listened to us. Now, in other countries like England, Australia, and even Germany, they have stricter gun control laws to prevent them from having to deal with mass shootings. In America, we do not. In Tennessee, we do not. And that's why we had to experience the loss of 6 lives on Monday. It's not right. And it's not right that we have to stand here and get kicked out from our place on the Capitol because they don't want to listen to us. They want to protect their Second Amendment rights over second graders. Now, my name is Blessed Nkrumah. I go to Valor College Prep High School, and I am a junior. And I am supposed to be writing my college essay. But no, I saw a sign that said I am supposed to be in school writing my college essay and not writing my will. But there's some students who get shot, who get put in front of a bullet because it was an assault gun, and then have to write a will to prevent this measure. This could be a preventative measure that everyone could take if lawmakers listen to us. But no, they do not. However, I want to tell you now, you are human and you have a voice and you have a place in the state. This state matters because you are in it. Now, I visited the Capitol yesterday and I personally got to talk to some lawmakers. And one of the representatives told me that even last week, one of the representatives within the House said that there's no such thing as gun violence and Tennessee is fine. Tennessee is not fine. Tennessee is not protected. If it was protected, then we would have students who don't lose their lives in front of a bullet. We would have teachers who don't have to throw themselves and go to a school to make sure that their students are protected. No! They should be going to school to learn. But they have to do with book bans, third grade retention, book bans that close the mind of students who know nothing right now. And we need to know something in order to be educated, right? Right. But no, they want us to have only a single story of the history of our country. They want to deal with that rather than the fact that with all these laws that they're making, there's no one to implement or there's no one to experience it if no one is going to be alive. Why? Because of guns. And they want to teach about the separation of church and state and use Jesus as a way to justify why the Second Amendment is right. But I can tell you right now, Jesus does not carry an assault gun. Now, I am going to tell you now that the presidential elections matter, but they don't matter as much as the midterms who make the laws. The midterm elections are the reason why some of these laws occur. happening. We wouldn't have to be here right now, and we could be in school. Now, I want to tell you right now, thoughts and prayers without action do not work. It does not work. If we learn how to vote, and if we try and stay involved, learn your local nonprofits, they have days on the hills where you can actually contact legislators, you will be able to let them know your voice and let them know your trauma and your experiences and the reason why you live here in this state and have a right to be here. I am proud of all of you, and I love all of you, and even if it might feel like they don't love you, they're just too scared and they are cowards for not listening to you because you have a voice. You are perfect, and you know the way it is. You know what it feels like to be in school and to have to deal with bullets. You know how it feels, and you know people, and you have family members. So please, take this with a grain of salt and actually try to get involved. Actually know that you are doing the right thing and don't be hopeless because too much of this happens and people become desensitized to certain of these issues. That's why when some people heard of the mass shooting that happened on Monday, they heard, they saw, but they continued doing what they were doing because it's become so normalized. And that shouldn't be the case. That is wrong. And we are better than that. Thank you.
You know, something Gunning and Leslie just said that is true. I did not have those trainings when I was in school. That was not a thing when I was growing up. This is man-made. This is a crisis that we have created. It is not natural, not naturally made. And as Mariam said, it is an American crisis, and it is a public health crisis. The data is so clear. It is brutal in your eyes. So we're going to talk to have Dr. Katrina Green tell us, as a doctor, just how brutal this is, and that this is not how it has to be. Give it up for Dr. Green.
I'm an emergency physician, and I feel compelled to speak up for all of my patients who have lost their lives to gun violence, and for their families whose lives were forever changed when their loved ones were taken from them. Children who weren't given the chance to grow up, mothers who had to bury their children. I've worked in trauma centers and treated countless victims of gunshot wounds, some who were young children and teens. Many who did not make it and bled out in our trauma bays as our team did our best to try to save them. One thing my training did not prepare me for was the soul-crushing, heartbreaking sounds of the wails of mothers when you tell them that their child has died, ripped away from them in the blink of an eye by the trajectory of a bullet. Gun violence has been an epidemic in the United States for far too long. For too long, we've seen tragedy after tragedy with only meaningless condolences and thoughts and prayers from our leaders. Many politicians are too cowardly to do anything more than offer thoughts and prayers. Well, we don't need any more thoughts and prayers. What we need are solutions and action. Every time we see another mass shooting, pro-gun legislators who blame mental illness, lack of values, unlocked doors, anything but the real problem. see more mass shootings elsewhere in the world. And if mental health is truly the underlying cause, like so many of them believe, why don't they pass legislation expanding access to mental health care? I will tell you why. Because they don't care. They do not care to pass meaningful legislation that would address the root causes of gun violence, because they are bought and paid for by the gun lobby. That's right. That's right. They only care about staying in power. Well, I am sick and tired of our gun-sick society. And it's not just the mass shootings. They're the problem. It's everyday gun violence that happens on the streets here in Nashville. It makes it hard for people to go about their everyday lives. Mothers fear letting their kids play on playgrounds or ride their bikes on the streets. Children see their classmates killed by stray bullets from gun violence in their neighborhoods. And let's not forget suicides by gun also claim the lives of far too many Tennesseans all across this state. We must address the gun-sick nature of our country. Clearly, the Wild West, guns for everybody policy is not working. There must be common ground we can find to limit access to guns for those who would use them to commit horrible acts like we saw on Monday. Even reasonable gun owners can agree with many of the safety measures physicians like myself and those behind me have advocated for. Things like fingerprint safety locks on every gun. Safe storage laws. Red flag laws. Mandatory safety training. And extensive background checks on every single gun. And I also have another suggestion. If mental health is really the issue, why not require a mandatory mental health evaluation in order to purchase a gun? Gun violence is the #1 killer of children in the United States. And the tragedy is these deaths are preventable. It is high time we rise up and demand that those in power across the street pass laws to protect our children. And if they refuse to pass common sense gun reform, we need to vote them out. And to any of those legislators who dare insult us by saying that we are politicizing tragedy and now is not the time to act, I ask them, when is the right time? Mass shootings are happening nearly every day. The time to act is now. The time to act was 20 years ago. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I don't want to have to tell another mother that her child is dead. Thank you.
Enough is enough!
to your neighbor, tell them your name, say thank you for being here.
So my name is Gmail. Or TM Howard or Gmail. They got crazy to find.
Thank you. Remember those names. The people you came with, the people you met, we are here together. And something I told y'all that we have some survivors here. And the way that gun violence in America works is that there are survivors everywhere. And so please, we're going to have them say some words. They're survivors. They know this story. And it's a terrible one. But they use that pain for change. So please, join me in welcoming them.
My name is Deion Green. I'm a survivor from the Dayton, Ohio mass shooting. My father was killed beside me. He was shot 5 times. The shooter killed my dad, his sister, and 7 others in front of me in 32 seconds, hours after El Paso. Ever since then, I've been showing up across the country from Buffalo, Uvalde, to show support to the community and to survivors because we don't know what's next. But you are not alone. We show up here to lean on each other, to cry, to heal. The AR-15 did all of that in seconds. So what I did was fight back. I have the first lawsuit in the country against a 100-round drum that caused that much fire. So after my mass shooting, we always say, this is it. After Sandy Hook, this is it. After my family here, this is it. And we see that it's not changing. I don't know what their agenda is, but while they're playing around, we're losing lives. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm called every time I turn on the news, I see another family brought into this network that we didn't ask to be a part of. So I want y'all to continue to love on the family, love on the people from the past, because this fight is a fight. But y'all voices are the voice. Call y'all senators, congressmen, and keep harassing them for change. Thank you.
My name is Elton Malkus, and I actually killed my brother last year. This is for anybody who's thinking of picking up a gun. You know what I'm saying? One bullet, one mistake can change your whole rest of your life. One bullet, one mistake, one thing. That's why I never picked up a gun from that day on. I never, ever. One mistake, one thing can happen, and your whole entire life can change in less than 5 seconds over one bullet. I just want to thank you all for coming out today and stop the violence.
Hello, my name is Sean Down Brooks, and I lost my son. I had 2 sons that was in a mass shooting at the Waffle House on April 22nd, 2018. One of my sons were shot and killed, and ever since I've been doing this, hanging with you guys, being a part of a club that I have no interest in being a part of. Love you! No one should have to live through this. I know firsthand the devastation these senseless acts of gun violence leaves behind. Once again, gun violence has forced its way into our community, leaving nothing but too familiar trauma and tragedy in its wake. 3 adults, 3 children lost their lives, while Tennessee lawmakers are once again working to further weaken Tennessee gun laws. We need more than thoughts and prayers. We demand action from our lawmakers now.
Let's get loud on that.
Because the pain from gun violence is something national, and everyone impacted by yet another senseless act of gun violence in our schools. Another tragic example of how urgent this public health crisis is in our country. How many more of our children have to die in our schools before lawmakers act? We deserve to learn and live without fear. We deserve to go out to eat without fear. But thanks to our weak gun laws and the gun lobby relentless guns everywhere agenda, nowhere is safe. School shootings like this are not an act of nature. No other free nation allows children to be shot and killed in schools like this. But in America and in Tennessee, guns are the leading killer of children, and Tennessee lawmakers have done nothing but to stop gun safety. Putting gun industry profits ahead of safety of our children.
That's right.
Just 2 years ago, Governor Bill Lee signed permitless carry into law against opposition from the law enforcement and the public and survivors. I'm tired of going to the Capitol and begging these people to keep our children safe, to keep us safe. Just last week I was there. They laughed at us and told us we need to go fight what's on TV. It breaks my heart. It drains me every time I come to this building.
Thank you for coming.
And now the legislation is moving, permitless carry, guys. It's moving to the lower the age from 21 to 18. Which would allow teenagers to carry guns. This is my 17-year-old. I don't want to see him walking around with a gun.
That's right.
It's scary. We must say enough is enough. We have had thoughts and prayers with no action. Year after year, tragedy after tragedy, lawmakers in Tennessee not only refuse to pass life-saving gun laws, they continue to strip us of our basic public safety measures. They are actively choosing to accept, allow, and enable violence in every vote. With every vote. I know firsthand the devastation that assault weapons can cause. They are weapons of war, and they have no place in our community.
That's right.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Aldane Brooks, and my brother Akila Da Silva was murdered in Antioch, Washington, April 22nd, 2018. With 400 million guns in this country and few gun laws, nowhere is safe from this gun violence epidemic. Lawmakers have the power to stop this. Allowing this gun violence epidemic to continue is a policy choice by those who are too cowardly to stand up to the gun industry that is profiting off this bloodshed.
That's right. That's right.
We all have a moral responsibility to stand up against this and protect our children, our brothers, our uncles, everybody that we love.
that shooting. Yeah, we need to move on. Sorry. We're gonna move on. I appreciate y'all being here. Can we give one round of applause? We're gonna close now. Y'all really stayed through, and I really appreciate that. It's been a very emotional week, and then a morning on top of that. And so, thank you. Justin Jones is just gonna former organizer Justin Jones is just going to tell us a bit what it was like on the inside, and then we're going to wrap it up, close this down. But I appreciate y'all staying.
And we have some announcements about going in.
Oh, and we have some announcements about going in. But I appreciate y'all staying on. This went longer than we planned, but we appreciate you staying.
No action, no peace. No action, no peace. No action, no peace. No action, no peace. I just walked out of the House chamber because nothing we're talking about in there is as important as the issue out here. And just a few months ago, when the Proud Boys were out here, all the Republicans were out here standing with them. So we know who's with the people. And I wanted to say something real quick because it just shows the absurdity of that chamber. I was just told by a Speaker of the House that I had a complaint filed against me because I'm wearing a pin that says "Stop the Assault" with a picture of an AR-15. He said it's banned for us to wear this in the state capitol. But we can buy an AR-15, but we can't wear a pin saying "Stop the Assault" on our community. My colleagues, as they walked in, I asked them, I said, "What are we going to do today, colleagues? What are we going to do today?" They said, "We're going to have a moment of silence." A moment of silence.
Not enough.
That's all they offer our communities, is moments of silence. And so I encourage the people to go back into that rotunda and disrupt business as usual. We as members are going to sit in on the House floor today because we cannot continue to allow business to go on as usual. We have a bill coming up. On the agenda to make a border wall, which ridiculous, invisible issues, imaginary problems.
Right.
And so we need the people to stand with us, and we want to stand with you because we do need action. And 3 weeks ago I was on the House floor, I told my colleagues, I said, you are out here banning drag shows when the real threat to our community are mass shootings. We can't teach about racism, but you can take pictures with Christmas cards with your children holding AR-15s. That's what's happening in this building. I'll tell you something. Because I want you to knock on his door. You know who's missing in action this week and who's not in his office? And so we need y'all to show up. We needed to keep organized. They pushed the gun bills just a week because they think you'll forget. They pushed it to next week. So we need to show up again because they're scared in there. They said, close the doors. We don't want to hear that noise outside. So come back inside and let them hear you.
They are just talking about a transportation bill in there. Some of y'all pointed that out, that you're very frustrated by that. My friend Pratik will guide you back in if you want to go back in and into the galleries. It's totally up to you, go do it. I think, that's what we're here to do. Second thing I want to tell you is that Senate Bill 1503 is concealed carry. It expands concealed carry. There's a ton of them, but this is one I want to tell you. It is passed committee and it is going to the floor. Going to finance and then to the floor. I know that sounds like crazy, but it has to go through committee to go to this big floor that's happening today. We can start stopping that now, okay? We can start, so follow it. I will try to post everything I can about it so that we can come in those decision moments and stop it. We do not need more concealed weapons in this state, okay? We're gonna wrap this baby up. You know I love you. I know you love each other. Let's do this. This is the beginning. We are going to change this state.